Welcome, everyone. This is our regular Tuesday session where we talk about all things trekking in Nepal. My name is Michelle Hill. I'm a business and travel coach, and I'm joined by my colleague Dinesh Karki, who is also the owner of Nature Explore Trek. And today, what we're going to do is talk about Annapurna region, because within Annapurna region, there's lots and lots of different treks that you can do, but there's 7 that are quite well known, and they do vary in terms of length and degree of difficulty. So if you're actually somebody who hasn't trekked in Nepal yet, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I couldn't do that, I want to start with something a little bit easier, then some of this will be helpful for you. But bear in mind that Nepali easy is not necessarily the same definition of what we think is easy. So, but I do know that when you don't go to the higher altitudes, it is a lot easier on your body and a lot easier to manage. So, having said all that, for those of you who don't know me, as I said, my name is Michelle Hill. I first went to Nepal in 2015, knowing absolutely nothing about what I was doing. I had booked myself a trek to Everest Base Camp, thinking, oh, this will probably be a really good physical challenge for me. And what I discovered along the way was not only was it a physical challenge, like the mental challenge and the mental strength that I needed was something that almost took me by surprise. But that feeling of exhilaration when we got to base camp, and you see it often with people when they achieve something. All of my photos are like me with my hands in the air, because I just felt like I had done something amazing, and that anything after that, like I could do anything. I mean, I literally can't walk on water or anything like that, but it did change my perspective and the way I look at things. And then I came back 2 years later and I trekked Annapurna Circuit. Again, very challenging, but so rewarding. And that's part of the reason why we wanted to chat a little bit about the Annapurna region today, just to give you an idea of what options you do have available. But before we dive into that, I'm just going to ask Dinesh to introduce himself and tell us a little bit about his background and his experience.
Thank you, Michelle, and good morning from Kathmandu. Those who doesn't know my name, I am Dinesh Karki from Nepal, of course, and where I was born and brought in Mount Everest region. Yeah, before I became a Dinesh Karki mountain guide and owner of Nature Explore Trek, I spent like quite long time in this sector, like almost 2 decades now, even more, since 2000, like 2003 to now, almost it is more than 20 years anyway. So because before I accommodating all these my steps and being a professional tourism worker or any organizing any trip, big trip, small trip, short trip, long trip, I spent like long time as porter and then became like a helper, and then sometime I also cook the food for in mountain for the people, and then finally I became a full guide who can take the big groups, any numbers of people in the mountains of Nepal, of course, all east and west Nepal, east to west, like let's say like Everest, Annapurna, Langchang, Manaslu, wherever the mountains are located. And then I also been in the group in Tibet, especially the West Tibet in the Mount Kailas area. Anyway, even I'm going in next week, so yeah, it is like. And then also the India and Ladakh is the more mountains are located, and Bhutan, of course, is our neighbors countries. And in this my journey, like spending like quite long time with the aiming of providing different service with sustainable tourism and with deep experience in this sector. Me and my colleague, we worked as a guide together. We decided to provide our own service to not to through the others, direct to our experience. So since 2015, we started our organization, Nature Explore Trek. At the meantime, Michelle and I met at the same time, almost 9 years ago now.
Mm.
And yeah, since that I'm continue working and then organizing as a guiding as a owner and anything of this company. So during, of course, in this journey from our since our established our company, we faced two difficulty situation like earthquake of Nepal, like in 2015, in the beginning of our opening company, and then everyone facing that situation, COVID-19, like couple of years, even 3 years without like any trackers or any trekking being like just waiting the situations and skip the hard time. Now, last two or three seasons, we the tourism is back in the right track. So we're working, doing and meeting like more than hundreds people from all around the world, getting like all the positive feedbacks, and it is always encourage us to work. And I love my job, and I will deliver it, and I will try my to deliver more good service in the future. Those who are traveling to Nepal, that's I want to tell now.
Thank you. And
Welcome.
yeah, that's just reminded me because I will be back in Nepal this November. So the time is ticking away and it's getting closer, which is very exciting. So what I'm going to do first of all is share my screen and pop up a map of the Annapurna region. I've just grabbed the map of Annapurna circuit so that we can, that kind of goes all around the outside. So that gives us a bit of an overview. So as you can see, we are what, northeast from Kathmandu.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a lot of a lot of the treks either start or finish in Pokhara here. But perhaps you could talk a little bit for us, Dinesh, about what is the like what are the best times of the year to look at trekking in this region?
Thank you, Michelle. So, any Annapurna region is, as known, is popular, classical, like a and beautiful trekking trail located in Nepal, in West Nepal, Middle West. So as we can see that little temple in Kathmandu, and then just take a bus or any drive, like where the trekking starting point started, right? So this is like as we saying, it is like more east like west from
So
Kathmandu.
yeah, so you can start here or you can start here. Yeah.
Yes, yes. For Annapurna, Annapurna is the one region, right?
Yeah.
But it offers so many different trekking trails, right? Right now we can see the map of Annapurna Circuit Trek, which is one of the longest and classical adventure, beautiful and popular among adventure lovers people.
Mm.
But now the car road is reached all the way up to the Manang. So let's say
Oh,
even a
okay.
little further. This part it's already driving. I'm saying this part.
Okay.
Other way. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't see what you're pointing to. So, are you talking about over here?
Yes. Yes, you are
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now
right up to Manang. Yeah.
Manang.
Yeah.
So this, like let's say 10, 12 years ago, the people who come to Nepal for this trek, they start from Besisar, right?
Mhm.
But now, as a road is connected to close to the mountain, so they don't have to walk all the way this part because if they have limited time,
Right.
short time in Nepal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as altitude region, so we suggest to start trekking at least from Darapani. This is the reasonable altitude, you
Yeah.
know.
So down
Yeah,
here, so
yeah.
that you can acclimatize. Yeah.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
good and then you can just start
Yeah.
from here, go over the pass, and go down to other side of mountain, get to the Muktinath, jump some. Here is
Yeah.
another options. You can also take a flight back to Pokhara,
Yeah.
or you can also drive back
Yeah.
by bus to Pokhara. There's so many options.
Yeah.
And then I'm coming back to the point. So as you were saying, the which time is the best
Yes.
a year, right? So
Mm.
doing trekking in Nepal, of course, we have two big seasons, autumn and spring, right? Autumn start after mid-September to all the way to November end, or first or second week of December, right?
Yeah.
But as the global warming changing, so nowadays the monsoon is coming little longer until like beginning of October.
Okay.
And then the December is like more cool weather, like November, December, mid December is cool weather, more clear, not as we expect, snowing and cold in December. It doesn't have last 8 years now.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
because of it's all happening global warmings, right?
Mm.
So I can see so many influences, the people coming in Nepal in November and December instead of September and October beginning,
Right.
because of the more preferable weather at that time,
Mm.
right? So
Mm.
autumn, I would say, let's say clearly, from mid September to the December, like November, October, November, December, not
Yeah.
end of December. If you are planning longer big trekking, don't not in December definitely, but
Yeah.
just for beginners and short and easy treks, December is perfect time.
Yeah.
And for for any long trekking, October, November is anyway better season. This is
Right.
the autumn season, okay? So
Yeah.
and then we have another season in spring, from March to May. So you can, if you are not, if you are planning in spring, so in then you can come to March to May. Supposed
Okay.
to be the spring start after winter in
Mm-hmm.
Nepal. So spring is always a good weather as starting new season, new seeds, new flowers in the mountains. It is like more decorated with flowers, and then background is mountain view. Especially the rhododendrons, which is our national flower, will blooms like red colors as a love sign, which makes so beautiful mountains. So you can take your picture in front of the flowers and the mountains, makes
Yeah.
definitely different scenery of your journey.
Yeah.
So this is like autumn and spring is the best season. So autumn is from September, October, November, mid September, October, November, and spring is March, mid March to the May.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, not to end of the May. It's mid of the May. That's the I try to tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to share a different screen because what I want to do is we're actually basing today's chat on one of the blogs on the website. And as Dinesh has said, there's a number of different treks that you can do. Now, some of this information here about things to bring in backpacks, what to wear, and all that sort of stuff, that is quite relevant for most of the treks. So we won't spend a lot of time going through that today. If that is of interest for you, we do have separate events where we have specifically talked about what to pack and what to expect and how to plan for your trip. But today, what I wanted to do was just go through the 7 top trekking destinations in the Annapurna region. So we've already briefly touched on Annapurna circuit trekking. Now, did you want to say any more about that, Dinesh?
Yes, the Annapurna circuit is definitely number one in Annapurna
Yep.
region. And then second popular of May, it might be first also. So Annapurna base camp.
Right.
Annapurna base camp is every travelers know that this Annapurna base camp trek is very popular, very reasonable with time, and one of the best destinations of trekking, because you will reach in the over 8,000-meter high mountain base camp of Annapurna 1, and it is about 10 days trekking. You start from Pokhara city after
Right. So
Kathmandu.
we're talking about Annapurna Base Camp now, aren't we? So
Yes,
let's get that up on the screen. And
it
it
should be here.
it's not, it doesn't have so it's part of talking about the circuit trekking. Sorry, I've misunderstood.
Oh yeah,
Right, because yeah, it talks about, you've talked about Annapurna Base Camp in here as well.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, no, it is one of the best, and yeah, there is so many different trails. Annapurna Base Camp, Gorepani and Funil, it's another popular and short and easy trekking.
Yeah.
Mardi Himal trekking become another popular after reopening the trail.
Yeah.
So
Hang on
also,
a minute. So what, we don't want to confuse everyone.
yeah,
So the first one we're talking about is the Annapurna Base Camp and the Annapurna Circuit trekking. They're the two big ones that people come and do. Is that right?
you are right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then Let's just quickly talk about Poon Hill Trek,
Yeah,
because
Punil.
that, as you can see on the previous one, it said difficulty demanding. So it's not something that you want to just jump into without any training or thoughts or planning for it. However, something like Poon Hill Trip, which says difficulty easy, as I mentioned at the start, remember this is Nepali easy,
Yeah.
which doesn't mean to say you don't need any level of fitness, but it is also a really good starting point and a beginner friendly one. So, do you want to just talk through what happens on that one?
Yeah. As you said already, it is the short and easy trekking, Nepali easy trekking. Of course, on this trekking also you have to go up and down, a little bit gradual, flat, walk
Mm,
into the forest, get on the hill, and enjoy the mountain view like this. And
yeah,
it is as it is short trek, but rewarded with more views in short
yeah,
time
right.
because of you will reach close to the mountain, and you have one of the best view from the Punil viewpoint. To
Yeah,
from it Annapurna Dhaulagiri, Annapurna, Mount Fistel, Manaslu. So this is the closest viewpoint, but give lots of view.
yeah,
So those people who have a short time but still wanted to see mountain in close distance within your short
yeah,
time, so go this track. Punil
yeah.
is the best, still
Yeah.
best.
Now that, as I mentioned before, I'll be back in Nepal in November, and one of my friends who is coming with me has never trekked in Nepal before. So we will be doing Poon Hill trek and around the Gorapani region so that she can kind of decide, is this for me or not, without committing to a really long trek. Will be, I think, 5 or 6 days. So for her, she feels confident that this is going to be a good introduction.
Mhm.
Now, what's the next one? You better pronounce these because sometimes I pronounce these names
Zomsom Muktina trek. We can see Zomsom Muktina trek. So this is another popular trekking trail. It is
Yeah,
the border with Upper Mustang and the Lower Mustang, and
yeah,
this is the short and sweet trek also. So
yeah,
those people who want to taste of Nepal, the real taste of Nepal, will reach to the close to the mountain and explore the different landscape like a less greenery and more dry.
yeah.
you know so this is the perfect trekking. So it does you don't have to be reached in the higher point to see mountain, just below the 4,000.
Because yeah,
And yeah,
that's the elevation there. I'm just highlighting that
yeah,
now.
you can also, if you are not familiar with walking, like not good enough acclimatization or enough walking level you have, so you can also go this trek by drive or like overland. So you
Okay,
can you can just go by, take like a hire a jeep and then explore the cities or like a village of Tibetans and see the
okay.
explore the mountain.
So if I wanted to do that with my partner Tim, he could go on
That's
he could go
perfect.
on the Jeep and I could walk.
Let me tell you a little bit, okay, just before we go
Sure.
down. The Jomsom Muktinath is the trekking, like when people coming across the Thorangla Pass, and then they meet this Muktinath. This is the
Yeah.
trek. Okay, so if doesn't want to walk anymore, they can explore by jeep. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha. And you mentioned before Marty Himmel.
Yes, I did. Yes, Madhimal trekking became more popular among to the adventure seekers because this trekking is very close to the cities from Pokhara, and then you just walk all the edge of the hill to get like a 4,300-meter high viewpoint to
Mhm.
explore the Annapurna South, Himalchuli, Fishtail. Actually, you are just following the Fishtail mountain edge. This
Right.
Fishtail, you just walk
Yeah.
to get Fishtail is here. And then
Yeah.
you get here, you see the Fishtail here, and this side like Annapurna South, Annapurna 1, Gangapurna, Thapachuli, so many mountains anyway. Like
Yeah.
numbers of mountains are greetings you, when you are close to there. And this trek is, as we mentioned here, 5 to 11 days. If you
Yeah.
combine with Punil, it takes 11 days, but if you just go separately, only Madhimal, then it is 5 days. So that's
Right.
I'm saying, like, yeah. And then this
Yeah. I
season
was.
is I already tell. Mhm.
You preempted me because I was just about to say like the duration 5 to 11 days. That's quite a big difference. But yeah, if you just want to do Mardi Himmel by itself, it's around 5 or 6 days. But if you want to include Poon Hill, you'd be looking at around 10 or 11 days. Okay. And then let's talk about Manaslu.
Manaslu, yeah, it is.
That one has a higher elevation, and that one says difficult.
Yeah, Mount Manaslu, it is the hardest and popular, demanding, and physical mental preparation is always highly recommended
Yeah,
on this trek. This trek is started quite differently, and as it is the border of Annapurna Mountains.
yeah,
So we do the same, like Kathmandu, like preparation the permit, and then next followed days we will drive to other small another city to Arughat, like the just more west in Gorkha district.
yeah.
And then it is like as you mentioned here, like a 10 to 12 days trekking. Maybe not, they're not saying here anyway. Yeah, yes, here 15 to 20 days means it depends,
Yes,
if you extend your trip to the Chum Valley, it is the
yeah,
another side trip. It's gonna take like 20 days. But if you only do uh Manaslu, including your travel date, it takes 15 days.
yeah,
So you start 6 to 7 days, you will just walk acclimatizing, because that means like you're not raising in the high mountains. It will help you as acclimatize. And then once you reach like the popular places, Samagaon, Logao, and then this is the right place to see the Annapurna, sorry, Manaslu mountain. Manaslu is also over 8,000-meter high mountain, which is
right,
8,167-meter high. And it is climbing mountain, of course. And then you just circuit the Mount Manaslu. That's why we say Manaslu circuit.
right,
Before we cross one side to other side of the mountain, we will cross 5,130-meter high. That's, sorry, 12 meter. That's what we can see
yeah,
maximum also.
yeah.
So this is another popular, demanding, and most choice trekking at the moment.
Okay. It says here too, solo trekkers are not allowed. Is that
Yes,
still the case?
that's true, because Manaslu trekking trail is restricted area.
Right. Okay.
So you have to go with your guide.
Yeah.
Without guide, you cannot obtain the permit to
Yeah.
trek there. Even if you trek just beginning of days, couple of days in the check post, when you reach in check post, so
Yeah.
they will ask you permit. And then if you don't have permit or like guide with you, and then they will have a lot of inquiries with you, and then they might stop you there to hire
Right.
and make a hire guide. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to know because like some of the tracks, I see people, particularly in the Facebook groups that I'm in, talk about, doing the treks themselves, but there are certain areas in Nepal where you need to have the guide with you and you need to have the correct permits. Now,
Yes.
this one is Kaya Lake Trek.
Khyber Lake Trek, yes.
Hmm,
This is another beautiful Khyber Lake Trek. It's a border with Punil and Annapurna. So
right.
just opposite side of Punil, we will reach very close to the Mount South Annapurna, and then good view of Mount Dhaulagiri, as we are just other side of the hill of
Yeah.
Dhaulagiri. So this trekking is quite inner side of heart of the Annapurna, as you just walking inner side of the region.
Yeah.
So as is mentioned here, it takes 7 to 12 days. It's depend where you start. As I already told you, so many car road is reached to the mountains. So
Yeah.
some people start earlier, and then some people go a little further in
Yeah.
by drive. So that reason we can say 12 days or 7 days. Most
Hmm.
of people nowadays they do 7 8 days because of the they don't want to walk in the beginning, as there is already car road and not
Yeah.
really comfortable with walking the driving road. Anyway, this is very beautiful trekking. So in the beginning, you will just walk half of the Punil trail, like
Yeah.
Gandruk, Tatapani is part of the Punil trekking trail or
Yeah.
places. And
Yeah.
then from Tatapani, you will just leave the classical Punil trail, and then you just go the like more south of the Annapurna South region into the forest and mountains. Like on this trekking, it's more wildlife. Quiet, as no money trekkers. And then you will just raising up the hill to explore the beautiful mountains. And then end of the trekking, end of your last highlighted day of this trek, you will go a day hike to the Khair Lake. Khair Lake, that's the reason why we call Khair Lake. Khair Lake. Khair is the place, and lake is like, everyone knows lake. It is
Yeah.
freshwater lake, and there is a temple. There is like, spiritual things. So, like people believe when you go to that place and meditate, you will just feel like mountain vibration. As we know, everyone know all the beautiful gods were live in the mountains, right? So it's kind of when we get there and do the some kind of meditations, remember our like ancestors, and then feelings and all everything's, and give positive vibrant
Yeah.
when you are there. So the reason this trekking is holy, beautiful, of mountains and surroundings by the hills trek. So
Okay.
those who have time for 8 to 10 days in, and then looking for remote and quiet but close to city from Pokhara, and then this is the perfect place.
Excellent. Can I just ask a question though? It says here best season September to December, and then it says January to May. Is that correct?
September, December, and January. So this might be wrong. So I have to make correct, to be honest. So
Yeah.
they're supposed to say March, So
Right. Right.
January would January could be still doable this trek, but February and beginning of March not, because of snowing.
Right.
So
Okay.
I have to mention little refrain this one.
Yeah.
Thank you for me to notate that.
No, well, it's just if people do want to come outside the recommended times, it's not impossible, but we might have to plan it a little bit differently, or it might have to be a bit longer, or it might have to be a slightly different route. So
Yeah,
always there.
I think my our what I'm rider saying, because this trekking is like doable if not snowing. It's all dependent on unpredictable weather,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
February is a little difficult to say, if in
Yeah.
case it's snowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then last but not least is the Nafu Valley Trek. I've not ever heard of that one.
Wow, this is very very popular, very
Mm.
restricted area trekking like Upper Mustang.
Right.
And it is a restricted and forbidden trekking and less crowded trekking trail and hidden
Right.
valley of the Annapurna. It is just behind of the Pisang Peak in Annapurna. Just let's say just behind of Manang, just behind
Oh,
other side
okay.
of
So it's
into the valley.
right
Yeah,
up near Tibet.
yeah. From Chame, when we get on the way trekking to the Annapurna circuit, from the Chame, the trail is divided. You will go more right down to the river, and then
Right.
just go to the other side of the mountains, and then explore. There is two villages, Nar and Fu. That's why we call Nar
Mm.
Fu trek.
Right.
See? Nar and Fu. This is the
Yeah.
village, Tibetan big village, where we can see so many cultural monastery, certain. Wow. And then on this trek, there is another popular mountain called Himlung Himal. Himlung Himal is the one of the trekking climbing peak, So
Yep.
most of people twice to climb that mountain, and it is 7,000-meter high mountain. So
Right.
those people who want to taste 8,000-meter mountain like Everest or any other over 8,000-meter mountain, they test with their experience with Himlung Himal, as expedition. So this region is very popular as Manaslu. So you need a restricted permit, guide, and then yeah, so many exploration things. So
Okay.
you need a preparation time, and then this is also very remote and quite trekking trail and adventure remote. That's why this is also demanding trail.
Because I noticed it does say accommodation tea houses, but you also have said it's possible, like you can set up a tent and sleep under the stars as well. So that's an option for people as well.
Yes, it is in option. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. That sounds well, as I said, it just goes to show you, I thought I knew quite, I'm just going to stop sharing now. I thought I knew quite a bit about Nepal, but there's always something new to learn. And particularly, I think once you start to move away from some of the well-known treks, that there are some real hidden gems there. And particularly for people who have been to Nepal before and perhaps trek to Everest Base Camp and perhaps done an Annapurna circuit trek or a trek to Annapurna Base Camp. And they kind of feel like, well, you know, they've kind of done Nepal, but there is so many other interesting, amazing, and beautiful places that you can go, that I think you could just go back to Nepal every year and
Yeah.
never end up doing the same thing. So would you like to anything else that you'd like to finish up with, Dinesh?
I think we covered some highlighted of some trekking. You know, like here, so many options, so
Yeah,
many steep trekking trails. So from beginners to adventurous. So if you anyone planning to the Annapurna trekking, Annapurna region in any trekking, like Annapurna circuit, Annapurna base camp, Mardi Himal, Khair Lake, anywhere is like so beautiful trekking trail. And then the best season is autumn and spring. So not right time to come monsoon and winter, as monsoon is raining and winter is snowing,
yeah,
especially in February and beginning of March.
yeah.
And I
Okay.
also told a little bit earlier about global warming. So as we expect, December is cold, but I can say now is December is the right time because of changing weather, and as we facing the so many different experience. And if anyone interested to planning trekking in Nepal and planning to go to Annapurna region, any trekking, here in Australia, Michelle is there. She will help you anytime, and I'm here. We will collaborate together to make your holiday beautiful and good experience.
Yeah, we absolutely will. And it sounds to me like when I am there in November, you and I need to sit down and have a look at what can I plan for next year and the year after.
Yes.
So we have sort of penciled in Tibet for middle 2026 at this stage. So
Yeah.
too many treks and not enough time.
Yeah. Many twice. Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, for those of you who are watching, I really hope that there was at least one little gem there that made you go, aha, I want to find out more about that. We get together once a week on a Tuesday. And so please keep an eye out for the events on Facebook, etc. And if you are watching this on the replay, there will be somewhere around the video with a link for you to reach out to us at Nature Explore Trek, a contact link. That what we've gone through is kind of like what we would call like these are the standard type treks, but everybody has individual requirements. If you want to go slower, if you want to combine a couple of different things, if there's one thing on your bucket list that you really want to include, all of that can be organized. It's not difficult. So please reach out if you want to have a chat. And if not, please keep watching and we will talk again soon.
Yeah. See you
Namaste.
soon. Yeah. Namaste.